Welcome viewers, you're watching Macattack, and in this video I'll be going over my personal list for the top 10 Jedi of the prequel era in order of power. I hope you enjoy. At number 10, Oppo Rancisis. He was a lifetime member of the Jedi High Council and an esteemed Jedi Master. As a Thespian, he has unique physiology such as a long muscular tail, forearms and razor-sharp claws, all of which are very effective in combat. At 187 years old, he was beyond his prime even for his species, but maintained powerful combative performance thanks to the Force. He was a telekinetic master and the reigning master of the rare Malaysia ability. Though he taught Plo Koon the ability, he could not use it as effectively as Oppo, able to induce dizziness, whereas Oppo could cause vomiting and even unconsciousness. Oppo Rancisis was also one of the greatest healers in the Order at the time, and a very notable telepath. He was one of the greatest users of the powerful battle meditation, able to turn the tide of battles, and even attempted to alter the sway of the entire Clone Wars. He was also very gifted with the more single combative battle mind ability. With a lightsaber, he was able to take out multiple assassins with ease, despite being completely exhausted. And the Jedi Swordsmaster Saw Bulk decided to kill the Thespian through a stealth attack rather than facing him head on. At number 9, Qui-Gon Jinn. He was somewhat of a rebel within the Order, and though a Jedi Master, he did not achieve a seat on the Jedi High Council because of his maverick ways. He followed his instincts with every step, often disregarding strategy or planning, and going with his gut. He had a deep connection to the living Force, and was one of the wisest Jedi in the Order. Though not much of a combative Force wielder, he was still quite potent with abilities such as telekinesis, and was a complete master of telepathy, able to influence the minds of strong-willed subjects, and even Hutts. As a swordsman, he was a noted prodigy, having mastered both Form 4 and Form 5 lightsaber combat. He would form his own personalised Form 4 combat style based around the philosophy and approach of Form 5 to make up for his advancing age. He was able to best many of the greatest Jedi in sparring matches, and could even hold up a 15-minute duel with the masterful swordsman Darth Maul, pressing an offensive. After being struck down by Maul, Jinn would use his connection to the living Force to discover the secret to immortality, preserving his spirit after death and becoming one with the Force. Jinn was also noted as one of the greatest teachers of his age, instructing one of the greatest Jedi of all time, Kenobi, and even teaching both Yoda and Kenobi how to become one with the Force as a spirit. At number 8, Shaak Ti. She rose to the Jedi High Council during the Clone War due to outstanding military strategies. She was put in charge of the defence of Kamino for a large portion of the war, and at the war's end was entrusted with the defence of the Jedi Temple. She was a master of Forms 2 and 4 lightsaber combat, moulding them into a personalised fighting style. She was noted as both one of the most graceful and most deadly swords beings of the era, and has gone toe-to-toe with the likes of General Grievous and an entire army of Magna Guards. She was quite potent with the Force, able to augment her speed to appear as a blur, and her strength to crush droid alloy without a weapon. Her telekinesis was a sight to behold, and she even mastered rare abilities such as Beast Control and Tutor Minis, the latter of which she could use to deflect blaster bolts, electro stars, and even parry the blade of a lightsaber. At number 7, Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto was awarded a seat on the Jedi Council after his exceptional skill during the Battle of Geonosis. He was the greatest master of Form 1 lightsaber combat of his era, able to best the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi early on in the Clone Wars, and stand well against Ventress and Grievous, all despite Cheeto's weakness against single opponents. As an Nautilin, he was gifted with the augmented ability to sense the emotions of other beings, and enhanced physical output. He could also breathe under, and swim very effectively in, water. In combat, he has been described as a martial hurricane, and against groups of adversaries, he was in his element. He had great skill in hand-to-hand combat, and Jarkai dual-blade fencing too, likely a pullover from his mastery of Form 4 lightsaber combat. He has been shown with a Force might to evade blaster fire, snap necks, create bubbles of Force energy which smash through whatever they hit, disrupt water currents, and create concentrated beams of Force energy underwater. All of this on top of an above average affinity with telepathy and standard telekinesis. At number 6, Plo Koon. A lifetime member of the Jedi Council, Plo Koon was considered both one of the greatest duelists and Force wielders of his time, though he was first and foremost a warrior. He discovered and mastered a rare form of Force lightning generated by the light side, known as electric judgment, and could use it to incapacitate enemies. His force augmentation in the realms of strength and speed were a sight to behold, and he's been shown battering away large groups of droids with waves of telekinesis, and is also a master of both telepathy and Tutaminis. He has even demonstrated skill with using the Force to alter the environment around him, creating a dense fog out of nothing at one point, and has been observed using the Force to freeze small bodies of water. His skill with the blade is what really places him on this list, besting Ventress in single combat, even with a broken arm. He also performed admirably against the duo of Darth Maul and Savage Press, and Phantom Menace Darth Maul stated that Koon would have been a worthy and challenging opponent. At number 5, Obi-Wan Kenobi. This Jedi needs no introduction, as the first ever Jedi seen in the Star Wars universe during A New Hope. His powers in the Force fill up a very long list, but he is noted more for his skill than his overwhelming power. He has, however, unleashed a Force repulse that liquefied the muscle mass of Dirge, and ripped large trees out of the flight path of a crashing Jedi cruiser. He is a master of Tutaminis, able to block blasters and electrical discharge with his bare hands. His Force augmented strength allowed him to snap the Durasteel arms of Grievous, and his speed has allowed him to move faster than the eye can see. He has also shown skill in Mecha-Duro, able to cause Vader's arm to spasm during their Mustafar duel. His telepathic abilities were top tier, probably thanks to his master Qui-Gon Jinn, from whom he also inherited the skill as a great instructor. He has used the beast trick to dominate the minds of dozens of ferocious beasts at once, and can perform the basic Jedi mind trick with casual ease. He is also rather gifted with Force healing. With a blade, Mace Windhu described him as the master of Ceresu, and his skill has been able to stonewall the assaults of Grievous, Ventress, Vader, Dooku, and practically any Jedi he faced in sparring. He was also a skillful practitioner of Ataru, able to beat both Darth Maul and Opress at once, Niman, Shien, Djemso, Shicho, and various hand-to-hand martial arts disciplines. Hand-to-hand, he was able to beat multiple thugs at once, and even best Jango Fett in single hand-to-hand combat. After death, he was able to preserve his identity and to return to the physical plane as a Force spirit. At number 4, Ki-Adi-Mundi. He was awarded the seat on the Jedi Council at a young age, where he has maintained his spot as a lifetime member for a very long time, speaking out as the third most authoritative member. His experience is exceptional, but despite his advanced years, he is able to use the Force to keep up with beings half his age. With the Force, he has been shown blasting back dozens of humanoids at once, and lifting objects weighing in multiple tons. His Force senses allowed him to detect a specific lifeform amongst thousands, and his telepathy also allows him to perform Jedi mind tricks with simple ease, and even awards him an advanced application of the beast control ability. He also has great skill in Force healing, repairing broken bones in a heartbeat. His Force speed is remarkable, able to evade blaster fire, the strike of General Grievous, and even multiple attacks of a Krayt Dragon. With a lightsaber, he has bested both the Jedi killer Ventress and the Jedi hunter Urus Singh. He has even given Grievous a good run for his money, despite being completely exhausted at the time. He is a master of Forms 2, 3 and 4 lightsaber combat, covering all of his bases, and allowing him to survive on the front lines of the entire Clone Wars. At number 3, Anakin Skywalker. This is the character that the entire Star Wars saga revolves around. Being discovered as the strongest Force sensitive in galactic history, he was brought and trained at the Jedi Temple for over a decade, achieving power that would take most Jedi a lifetime to attain. Moulded by the war, he was noted as a lightsaber prodigy early on, and would go on to become the reigning Gemso master of the era. He also had great skill in Ceresu from his master Obi-Wan, Ataru, Shien, Niman, and Jar-Kai dual fencing. He would best the vast majority of opponents he faced, including Asajj Ventress, Savage Press, and even Count Dooku, who many believed to be the greatest fencer of the age. Even Obi-Wan noted Anakin as the superior duelist. As a Force user, both Yoda and Sidious noted that he had the potential to surpass them, but due to his young age and his focus as a swordsman, he never achieved this. He was still very capable though, unleashing waves of Force energy to scatter squads of battle droids, and pulling down as well as lifting up insanely heavy objects. With his speed, he was able to outrun a homing missile, and with his strength, he was able to crack the cliff beneath Ventress as he hit her. He could take an insane amount of damage, and was superhuman in terms of resilience. He was a skilled telepath, with the mind trick being second nature, and had great skill in the beast trick. He was also a master of Force Choke and Force Crush, not often associated with the Jedi, a sign of what he was to become. At number 2, Mace Windhu. He was a high-ranking master who would serve a brief stint as Grand Master of the Order before handing it back to Yoda, but would still maintain his role as Master of the Order. As a Force wielder, he was overwhelming, being shown to release Force waves to destroy entire armies of droids, and use Force augmented strength and speed to smash Durasteel alloy with his bare hands, and evade walls of blaster fire. He could leap hundreds of meters into the air, and lift hundreds of objects at once. He has shifted huge weights with the Force too, bringing a wall down to crush an armoured assault tank, or shoving an AT-TE Walker off a cliff. He has great skill in Force Crush, using it on Grievous, and also great skill in the rare ability of Shatterpoint, able to use it to both exploit weaknesses in enemies and literally shatter objects at will. He was also quite adept with Force Healing, and had an above average grasp of telepathy. With a blade, he was noted as the second greatest duelist in the Order, and one of only 2 people at the time capable of matching Dooku in single combat, demonstrating this several times. He has also bested Jango Fett, bested Ventress, stonewalled Grievous, and brought his fight to Sidious to a stalemate with his skill in Varpad, using the Force to loop around the Dark Lord's power, amping himself to the same level as his opponent indefinitely. He was first and foremost a swordsman, and mastered all 7 forms of lightsaber combat, as well as the Jarkai, and created his own form, Varpad, which was in his opinion the perfection of Zhuge. At number 1, Master Yoda. Of course, there could be no doubt who is top of this list. He was the Grand Master of the Order, a rank he held for hundreds of years, and had the most experience of possibly any Jedi in galactic history. He was accepted by most as being the greatest swordsman in the Order, with only the likes of Dooku, Sidious, and Windu able to stand a chance against him. He mastered all 7 forms of lightsaber combat to their nth degree, and could use the Force to match the speed of Sidious, who has been described as appearing to fade in and out of existence due to his speed. He has devastated armies with Force waves, lifted hundreds of droids up at once, and even smashed separatist landing craft into one another with telekinesis. He was able to break the Force defences of Sidious with the Force Push, and casually disarm Ventress without even looking. His telepathy was top tier, capable of both battle mind and battle meditation to their highest levels, and was able to influence the thoughts of even the strongest willed subjects with the Force. His Tutominus was top tier, able to absorb and overpower the lightning of the most powerful Sith Lord in galactic history, and his skill in Force healing was almost unparalleled. He was also able to preserve his spirit after death and live eternally as a Force ghost. Truly the most powerful Jedi of the era, possibly even of all galactic history. And so there is my list. Remember, this is all my opinion and up for debate. Please leave your list in the comments below. I would love to see what other people think. Please keep your responses PG, and may the Force be with you.